Hi everyone, Coach Sullivan here with MGS Coaching Football. I thank my subscribers, and to those who haven't yet, I really hope you do. I just completed my 38th year coaching football, and I was a defensive coordinator, coaching defensive backs. But over the 38 years, I've also coached inside linebackers, defensive line, outside linebackers, been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. Today, in this presentation, I want to talk to you about one of our zone blitz coverage concepts that we utilize versus a four-man pressure, an inside linebacker four-man pressure that we call small. Okay, the code is coffee sizes. Okay, so again, this is a concept, a blitz concept, all right, that we can apply to other zone blitz coverages. We have many different zone blitz coverages, and some of them are tweaks of our base match quarters, okay? But what I want to focus on today is just one of them, and it's one that you can utilize with pretty much any group of athletes that you have, experienced, inexperienced, very talented, maybe not quite as talented. So I start with this presentation as part of our Zone Blitz coverage playlist, okay? So what I'm not going to do today is get into various route combinations and how they would cover them. You'll have to see other presentations, small, as an example, small versus California, small versus Florida, and so on and so forth. Okay, today I just want to teach you the concept of how we play this, excuse me, the basic premises of the concept when you're in this particular coverage, and ultimately the reasons why we play this zone blitz coverage. And just think zone, right? This is a zone concept that's tweaked because we are blitzing. All right, so let's get going. Key terms, first of all, is surface, right? It's a zone blitz coverage. So our surface to us is the offensive line. They read that first, as they do anytime we're playing one of our zone coverages, specifically match quarters. All 11 positions read the offensive line, especially the DBs, okay? Safeties, corners, you're at 7 corners, assuming we're in a one-back. Safeties are at 12. You can zit step, you can read for run or pass first. And we insist that they do that. It's not hard to teach. You teach it in meetings, walkthroughs. Doesn't take a whole lot of reps, but every drill we do, there is a surface key that they're reacting to. Even if it's my foot, and then I show run or pass. It just gets them in the habit of reading for that first, okay? So that's a huge part of this. Your basic, essentially, keep doing what you always do with your zone coverage. And if you're not reading offensive line, then I suggest that you do. Other presentations as far as teaching and drilling and how we do it, okay? Second is what we call small coverage. Coffee size, small, okay? It is literally a four-man pressure for an inside linebacker blitz. So I have it up here. Anyone, the Mike linebacker's blitzing, doesn't matter which one. How we arrive at it's a four-man pressure. 1, 2, 3 are the defensive linemen going after the quarterback. That's the pressure. You don't have to be part of the blitz. If it's a pass, they're part of pressuring the quarterback. You follow me? And now we're blitzing the inside linebacker, so that's how we arrive at a four-man pressure. That means we got 7 in coverage. Okay? To all the people out there that wonder, can you do it with a 3-4? We got 4 guys getting after the quarterback. It's no different than a 4-down front. Okay? The difference is the offense has to figure out who that 4th guy is. They don't know it's the Mike. Okay, so again, that's why I'm a big proponent of the 3-4. The term hot is underneath. So both corners and both outside linebackers to us are underneath defenders. 2 safeties, everybody else is underneath. 1 safety, you'd have 5 or 6 underneath defenders. You follow what I'm trying to say here? So, excuse me, the inside linebacker, not as much as you'll see, because in this coverage he's got a running back, okay, and he might be adding to the rush as well. So minimum, it's the 2 corners and 2 outside linebackers, and they play, and this is big, man coverage with zone leverage. Whoa. And that's after reading the surface for run or pass, okay? Man coverage with zone leverage. So as I said, I'm not going to get into all the various 2-man route combinations, but I will do a couple of things to show you what I mean by playing the man coverage with zone leverage, okay? And then ultimately the reasons why we play cover small or a zone blitz concept like this. First of all, there's a lot less risk. Okay, when you play, cover 0, no help safety, I mean, you're really wagering the farm that you're going to get there before the quarterback gets rid of the ball. And if you do, right, woo, you look like, genius. But if you don't, and you get torched because you got no help, then, you know how it goes. You're the genius, you're the dunce, right? I'm not a big gambler. I believe in taking as little risk as possible while still finding a way to bring the heat, okay? Keep the receivers in front of you. That's part of the less risk, okay? With the man coverage zone leverage, you're always keeping the receiver in front of you. So that I will go over, okay, here and trying to understand this coverage concept. You have, without question, better run support. If you're in man coverage underneath, the focus is the man, and half the time they have no idea if it's run or pass. And that's why, especially against a running quarterback, that's very dangerous, because if he sees you're a man, he's going to tuck it and go, right? You have the coverage. The entire coverage is reading the surface. So this all ties together. It's not redundant. To be less risk involves reading the surface, identifying its run or pass first, keeping receivers in front of you, right? Having run support so you don't get gashed because you got guys running receivers who are just running you out of there on purpose, and you're running with them, and meanwhile they're running an ISO play for 45 yards or something, okay? And then it built in too high safety help. So this is out of our base package, okay? So which means we always have too high, okay? And we're going to negate the minimum box numbers by bringing some pressure. All right, so with all of this, let me introduce to you this call example why the mic is in red in a box. It's a 50, any mic blitz, cover small, okay? So, again, I've already talked about that's the 4-man pressure. Hot defenders, right? Corners, hot on 1. Outside linebackers, hot on 2, because this is a 2-by-2 formation. It's simple for explanation purposes. Since the mic's the blitzer that puts the backer in, he's got running back or key rush. Running back or key rush. I will explain that. That's a part of, as well, their general zone match quarters technique. See, so we're not trying to add too many different things here. Same for the 2 safeties. So let me first talk about a scenario that will introduce. This is the big part here, right? This is the big one. The hot concept, meaning you're the hot defender. Okay? Play man coverage with zone leverage. Okay, so what I'm going to do is with the guys out on the proverbial island, the corners, right? So I'm going to use some red because signify hot. So let's just assume here for a second that his surface, I'm just going to go one side here. His surface is showing the pass. Boop. Okay? So he takes the quick zit step, like he always does, a little butt to boundary. He sees it's pass, so now his eyes go straight to there. When the surface tells you it's pass, it now becomes boop, man coverage. So you lock into the man. There is no reading two like that we do in our man. Man, he is hot on one. And so to the corners, remember, better run support. Read surface. Let all PTS, protect the sideline. If surface was show and run and then it's direction, his job is to protect the sideline. He can do that. It's sky support. He'll know whether or not he has to execute it because he's reading surface. Orbit. He's reading surface. He'll know, right? Whoop. Now eyes go to him. Boom, done. Okay, so you see how this plays in? Protect the sideline. He'll know because he's reading the surface. Point is this, and I'm going to do it now. It's pass. So we can talk about how to play man coverage with zone leverage. All the underneath defenders, when the surface shows it's pass, they lock into their man. First is the first thing you have to do. Okay? Second, let's just take this guy. I'm going to come back to him. Remember I said I was going to do that. Let's say he is running some kind of a crossing route. He's at like 5 or 6 yards. Okay? Just so it's different. He's playing the man coverage, but he's got zone leverage. He's going to be in a tempo mode to keep what we call dominant leverage. Which means on top. So he is going to take zit step. He is going to tempo pedal so he can maintain dominant on top leverage. That's playing the man with zone leverage. Okay, so you're building in all their zone skills. Now, when the receiver, now he's reading near hip and drop and lead leg indicator and all the things that are part of man coverage, you got to combine the two. Now, when he reads that, he plant and drives, and now he stays with this receiver, but see, he remains on top, the dominant leverage. Keep receiver in front of you. He will run all the way across the field with him because it's man coverage with zone leverage. So that's it right there. I mean, that's what they do in match quarters, man over 10. When he's over 10, that's how they play it. So we're just telling them, no matter what the route is, okay, the zone leverage, right? Dominant on top. Stay there. It's not as easy for the rover who's attached, right? Knocking back. But when he does that, now I'll switch up the colors. Instead of cutting that, which he normally would, he's going to play it with zone leverage, which means now he's going to stay on top of it. Okay? I mean, that's what we're doing here. Say you got a little Miami mesh concept going. Same thing, zit step, read pass, tempo pedal. He starts to come inside, plant and drive. And now play your man all the way across the field with the dominant on top leverage. That's what this tweak is here. So again, all these guys are doing what they always do in match quarters until the surface tells them it's pass, and now eyes go to their man. My man's running across the field. I'm running across the field with dominant on top leverage, keeping him in front of me. Okay? So because I'm relying on my offensive line, my surface, if it were run, everybody would do their job in the run. Force, protect the sideline, stack force, protect the side, right? They'd all do that. Plays away, game saver. plays away, slice, or stub, depending on the call, right? Backside safety. They do what they do on every play, except now, when the surface shows pass, everybody locks onto their man, plays with zone leverage, dominant on top, dominant on top, dominant on top. He'd be the same. And all the while, the safeties, who are not hot, they're quarter help, which means they look 2-to-1 on their side. 2-to-1. It's not a deep half technique. If two's vertical, they're going to look to help with that vertical. If two isn't, they're going to release. They're going to still mirror the release of two. So if two's out hard, they're going to look to help with number one vertical. That's what they're doing. Help 2-to-1 means verticals. Safeties are looking to help with verticals. Okay? Because these can become verticals. All right? We're not necessarily playing it like we are in match quarters, but the safeties are looking inside out, 2-to-1, to help with any verticals. And they're in a position at 12 yards and then deeper to read and react off quarterback indicators, where all the underneath coverage guys are locked onto their man. The only people who should see the ball thrown are the safeties, and if the underneath coverage defender has very good dominant leverage, he should see the ball thrown through the receiver. Okay, and that means our pressure didn't get to the quarterback, so we're looking to make sure it's an incompletion because we're not in a position to intercept it. Okay, and we teach our guys to have an arm around the waist, not up top, so you're not visibly affecting the receiver, so you don't get the pass interference call. Hand around the waist area, you typically get away with it. We never grab jerseys because that'll get you a penalty, but we're always looking to grab something around the waist area. Okay, that we will do. So again, I'll go back to the whole premise of this, the concept. We're going to play our zone defense, meaning everybody's reading and reacting to the surface. Everybody. Okay? The surface tells us it's pass. The underneath cover guys, the outside linebackers covering the inside receivers, the corners covering number one. They now become man coverage with zone leverage, which means they play their guy wherever he goes in the field, remaining dominant, which means on top. Okay? Each side has safety help with verticals. Okay? And this way we cover all our bases. We got run support. We got less risk, receivers in front of us, because we all started off by reading the offensive line and we're still blitzing. Okay, that's the concept of our zone blitz small coverage. Last and certainly not least, the inside linebacker in our small coverage who's not the blitzer. So in this case, it's the backer. What's meant by running back key rush, he, again, reading surface. If it's run, he's executing his techniques and reacting and making the play. Surface is showing pass, his eyes go to his man as well, the running back. If the running back is in a route over there, he's got to go get him. If he's in a route over here, go get him. The key rush. If the running back is in protection, the key rush rules from our match quarters that we execute daily, and then we execute, dozens and dozens and dozens of times every single football game. He's in protection. He's my key. He's telling me to rush the open gap, add to the rush. So the 4-man pressure just became a 5-man pressure, and that's dictated by the offensive scheme. Okay, so if they're going to keep a 6-man protection, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then we're going to end up bringing 5. Okay, the four-man blitz pressure called, and then the key rusher because the scheme told us to add to the rush. So with the man coverage with zone leverage, all our underneath guys dominant on top with safety help, there's a potential for a five-man pressure on top of it all, dictated by offensive scheme. So that, too, is part of the zone blitz cover small concept, okay? So I hope this all made sense. I hope I didn't go too fast. I am going to show you this coverage against, purposefully against two-man route concepts that we teach in our match quarters. And then we teach all our coverages how to defend, including zone blitz coverage, okay? But you'll have to see the other presentations for that. So as I said at the beginning, my subscribers, I thank you. To those who haven't yet, I really, really hope you do. And to everybody, I really, really hope any questions, you reach out to me at CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com because I would love to talk football with you.